Hey everyone, welcome back to MasterClass. And today we're going to be sitting with John Kraisman. He's going to be setting up the e-commerce part of our website for PhotoBiz. So he's going to be teaching you part one of Sale from Anywhere, the e-commerce setup, and then right after that will be part two. So anything that we don't fill out in this 1 hour, we finished out in the next section. But we would just want to welcome John and say, hey, how you doing, man?
Hey everybody, and thank you for taking the time out of your day on this great Monday. I'm John Kraisman, and I am going to walk you through setting up your e-commerce. And with your PhotoBiz site, you have the e-commerce bundled right into your membership, and it's nice because it's scalable to work with anything ranging from in-person sales to invoicing to taking deposits to the scheduler. You can really do a lot with it. So we're going to look at how to set up for configuring your settings to sell online, and then how to set it up. The whole thing is with the proofing and allowing you to take payments through the site. So let's take a look here. When you log into your PhotoBiz account, the first thing that you notice is obviously your home screen. And you can navigate over into the sidebar here, and you'll see the e-commerce section. So the e-commerce, little shopping cart, we click on that, and it will take you into your dashboard. Now, once you've got your settings configured here, you've got your merchant set up and everything else, this will start to show you your orders. This will give you a rundown of what people have purchased from you, what people have paid. It makes it all very, very easy to see all this. Now, the first thing that you want to go to, and where I always recommend customers get started if you haven't used this before, is going over to the payment section here at the top of the page. And you'll see that you have different options in here, coupons, campaigns, but most importantly, merchants. This is the first thing that you want to look at when you're getting started with this, because that's where you're going to put in your payment options. And so you can set up here, and we work with the 6 big merchants: Square, Stripe, PayPal, Authorize.net. There's also a few other options that you have here. As you see on this account, there's no merchant configured. We can click on this, and Stripe is who we recommend just because it's easiest to use. It's scalable across a bunch of different places. You'll see here it works for clients based in the US, Canada, UK, Australia, and a bunch of other places. They have no monthly fee or annual fee or anything like that, and they have a low transaction fee that's pretty competitive with the other merchants that are out there. But if you click here, you'll see you also have Square, which is a very popular merchant. You have PayPal, and you can do multiple payment options as well. So if you want to offer both, like your credit debit card through Square or Stripe, then you also want to have PayPal available. That's no problem at all. There's also an offline payment option. So if you are someone that wants people to be able to complete their orders online, but then pay you with cash, come by the studio and pay in person, call you over the phone and give their credit card information over the phone. If you want to set up to accept Venmo, you can do that with the offline payment option. And so it creates an extra step for the client to actually pay you, but it is there for a more flexible option if you're not wanting to deal with the transaction fees that credit card merchants are gonna give you when you go for your payments. So how easy is it to set these things up? I'll show you. So for this one, I'm going to use Square, and all you do is click your Connect to Square button here. I've already got my login credentials on this, so you'll put in your email address and password for your merchant. You hit sign up, and it'll connect it. And so now, when your clients go in, they'll have an option to pay by credit or debit card with Square. And in the next step, I'll show you how this all looks on the front end in the actual checkout process. But it's very, very easy to go in and configure your merchants. And then if you wanted to add another payment option, you just click New Merchant. And we can do, for this one, I'll just say Venmo. And you could put in your special instructions here. A lot of times if you're doing offline payments, it's critical just to manage client expectations so that they understand that their order is not going to get processed until you receive payment. This will help. This will help avoid any confusion on why their order hasn't been placed or why they haven't gotten their stuff. If they haven't paid you, there's no reason to process the order. So in here, a lot of times, what I recommend, depending on what you are trying to set up for your special or for your payment option here, put in some instructions to manage it. And so, for instance, with this one, we're going to say Venmo is this option. This is an offline payment. They have to pay you outside of your website. So you can include your Venmo name. So you could say at for payment, and then you just say, reminder that your orders aren't processed until payment is received. And that way, just like you said, that just manages client expectations. They understand that they have to, they're going to have to pay you before that order is processed. And then for your thank you message, you can also put in here, you can put in a little thank you message for their purchase. Hit add merchant, and now it's done. And so now you'll have two different payment methods at checkout. And like I said, this is built to be very, very flexible for you in order to accept payments on here. I almost always say make sure you have a credit debit card option in here. People want to pay online, make it easy. Square and Stripe are usually your best bets on that, just because you can go through those. They deposit the money into whatever bank account you specify. Square is nice too if you're already using them for in-person stuff. You have one set of books. So, all your stuff will go through that same merchant, and it's convenient for you as well. So you've got the first part, and I'd say the most important part of doing e-commerce setup. You've got your credit card merchant set up. You've got your Venmo in here, or whatever other merchants you're using. And this will allow you to take payments, so you can actually get paid on here. One thing to note, if you're doing the offline payments, it will work for store, but it doesn't work for invoicing, and it doesn't work for forms. We're going to look at both those options, but those are two things that, they're only going to be available if you're using a credit card merchant. So the next thing you want to look at, shipping and taxes. So taxes are one where you can go in and you can configure your sales tax. Now, if you're not sure about what your sales tax needs to be, definitely recommend check with somebody in your area, your accountant, financial planner, whoever it is that you're working with on your business taxes stuff, because this will really help you out with that, and it'll make sure that whatever you put in here is going to be the right thing. So you can put in a description for your sales tax. You can choose whether or not you want to apply sales tax to shipping, and you can also choose if you want to apply any additional tax. So with this would be if you had like if you have like a local ordinance on tax, if you have a city and a county tax, there's a couple different situations that applies. Again, this is one where you want to make sure that you got it set up based on what your local tax ordinances are. You put in your tax rate here. You can choose your country here. So we're in the U.S., so I'm going to leave that there. Then you can choose your state. And these will all adjust based on what you choose. So if you're an international customer, we'll have your country in there, and we'll have the state, province, etc. in there as well. So on this one, I'm gonna leave it set to the United States. We'll tax all orders. So this gets your sales tax in here. This makes it real easy, and this is one that you always want to make sure you have on there. That way you're collecting sales tax on your orders when you need to. And then the other thing here is shipping. So your shipping methods. These allow you to put in, who you're using and how you're going to be able to deliver your stuff to your clients. As of this presentation, all orders are self-fulfilled with PhotoBiz. So when your clients' orders come through, this is going to determine how you get the end product to your clients. And so you can do things like free in-studio pickup. You can ship it to the post office, UPS, whatever carrier you want to use. But you want to have something in here that explains that, hey, this is how I get my order out to you. So in this instance, we'll set up two different ones. So we'll do the post office. We'll say USPS. Put in a little description, and then you could do a flat rate on this. So you could just say, hey, it's $10 shipping on all orders, or you could do a percentage-based shipping with a minimum. So if you have depending on who you're using, it makes it really easy. Now, one thing to keep in mind here, we're going to put $10 for the flat shipping rate on this. You can also do additional shipping costs per product. So if you have a particular product or you have an item that's large or heavy that's going to cost a little bit more to ship than what your normal shipping is, you can add that on at the product level. And so this gives you some flexibility with these. So we'll go ahead and we'll add the post office in here. Another thing to look at once you've got it set up is that if you do offer a shipping method and you have let's say you're a photographer that's located, close to the border between the U.S. and Canada, U.S. and Mexico. If you have international customers and hey, I've got clients that come down from Ontario or come up from Mexico for stuff. If you have to pay extra to ship to those clients, you can also add a country fee. And so you can choose, what country you apply these to, and then you can put an additional cost on those as well. And that way, if you have an event that you take photos at and you have a couple clients from out of the country and they order, you're not taking that international shipping on the chin. You can actually make sure that when they put in their information on the checkout screen, if their shipping address is outside of the U.S. or in one of the countries that you list here, you could pass that additional shipping along to the client, and that way, like I said, you're not losing out on anything. So let's go ahead and we'll just put another $15 on this order, and we could do that for as many different places as we want to. Now, if you also offer free in-studio pickup, we could go in here and we'll put in free in-studio pickup. And for this, we'll just put 0. And that way you've got both. You're going to have both of these options available for your customers when they go through the checkout process and they choose how they're going to ship. Now, free in-studio pickup is a really good way for more upsells. A lot of times it gives you a much more personalized delivery. And this, again, would apply if you're selling physical prints, physical products, not necessarily just digital downloads. So you've got your merchants in place, you've got your shipping in place, you've got your sales tax set up. And so now there's a couple other things you want to look at to get started on actually taking payments for these things. So one place I always say to look at once you've done all this is to go into the general settings on your e-commerce. Number one, make sure that your currency is set to the appropriate currency for where you're located. So in this instance, we're going to change ours to the US dollar. A lot of times this is already going to be set for you, but just double check it to make sure. Most of the time when you set up your account, depending on where you're located, the system will default to the appropriate currency. But just to be on the safe side, make sure that you got your currency selected. Your email notification field here. This is going to be where order notifications go out to. So if it's blank, it's going to be the email address that you have on your account that you log in with. If you need to have it go somewhere else or to other emails, you can add those in here. It's a really nice place to set those up so that you can have those where you've got the ability to go in and add all these in there for you. So this, like I said, this gives you control over that. You can put in an order minimum. So if you have a minimum order that your lab requires, or that you have built into your pricing that you don't do orders that are under that, you can set that here. So by default, that's set to 0, but you can go in and set an order minimum if that's something that you have. There's inventory that's built into the PhotoBiz Ecommerce, so you can also go in and you can configure your global low stock mark here. This is going to display for you and for your clients an alert when the stock count reaches the number that's below this, below the number that you set here. By default, we leave this blank. That way, you can go in and you can choose when you want to see that mark and say that, hey, this is getting low. But for most customers, the inventory doesn't really apply. This starts getting into stuff when you have a limited number of products on it. And then the last option here, what do you want the price to show as when an item's set to 0? And I'm going to show you this when we get into some of the product setup on these, what you can do with the e-commerce. By default, this is set to show zeros, but you can have it labeled as free, which is nice if you're doing a service like a free consultation that you want to allow people to book through, or you can hide price that until it's greater than zero. For this example, I'm going to choose that third option where it doesn't show a price until it's greater than zero, and it'll make sense in a minute when I show you setting up products on this. So your general settings are configured to match up with what your business model is. We can go to the checkout option here. Now, this is where you can make sure that your logo is on your receipt. And we're going to go into, I can pull up here and I can upload the logo for you on this. You can also go in and you can configure the information that shows on the receipt for your business. So this one says Jane Doe Studios. We're going to put the receipt address, and I'm just going to put the PhotoBiz address here so that it's already in place. So we've got 516 West Friendly Avenue. That's in Greensboro, North Carolina. We can put in a phone number, and this is all going to appear with the receipt when your clients place their order. You can also put in a URL, and you can configure a global thank you message. And these are great because these allow you to put your branding into place on these. And whenever someone goes through the checkout process with your website, this all shows. So they get that same branded experience across the entire process, while they're looking at your website, while they're corresponding with you, and when they actually pay you. And this, once you get it set, it's good to go. There's a custom checkout option here as well. And so if you, a place where I really see this applied a lot is if you shoot like schools or sports, this lets you go in and you can configure something that says, hey, what's your child's name, or what's your team's name, what's your school's name, anything that might need to identify the order, you can put that on here. And you've got different field types. You can put paragraph, you can put a checkbox, you got some different options there. But you can configure all this right in the settings here for the checkout. And so now we've got everything set up where we're going to go ahead and let's take a look at how to set up your actual pricing on here. And this is really, really easy to do. What's really nice about the PhotoBiz system is that once you've got your pricing in place, you can create as many price lists as you want to. You can have different pricing, for different clients at different levels, and it's all private. So events, when we get to that point, the pricing on that will be exclusive between customers. And so if you have your main pricing and then you also offer, let's just say a family and friends discount or a military discount or something like that, you can have separate price lists that apply to those events, and people will only see what's assigned to their event. So it keeps pricing exclusive between customers. It also allows you to segment out if you do a couple different styles of photography. If you shoot, business headshots and you shoot family portraits, that's going to be two totally different pricings that you have. And so the other side of that is that your headshot clients aren't necessarily going to want to buy any of the stuff that your family portrait clients are, and they don't want to sort through it. They just want to be able to get in and buy and get out. So you can make it very easy and streamline the entire process as well with different price lists. So we go to the Sell Online section here, and you'll see that you have prints, digital images, packages, products, service, invoices, gift cards, and price lists. This will allow you to configure just about everything that's going to take payments through your site, with the exception of your scheduler and your forms. So let's take a look first at how to do prints. It's really, really easy. You hit prints. It'll show you what you have in place. Right now I don't have any because we haven't set one up yet. So we'll hit new print size. And you can put in your print size. So let's just say 8x10, and our price for an 8x10 is $50. You can choose whether or not these are active. You can choose whether or not you charge sales tax on them. And then you can also choose to charge additional shipping. So again, if you have something that is going to cost you more to ship, whether it's because it's bigger or it's heavier, you can go in and you can add an additional shipping rate to any print product that you set up. Makes it super easy for you. And as you go through, you can add the different prints that you offer. And what's really cool about this, like I mentioned before with the different print sizes, is if you have two print sizes, but you charge two different prices based on the client, you can put in your different print sizes and the prices. Now what this is going to do is when we get to the price list setup is it will create a pool to pull from, and you can check which prints and what pricing is available on each price list. You can have as many different price lists as you want to, so you're not locked into one price list over another. And it makes you have the ability to keep your pricing exclusive between customers. Let's take a look at digital images. So this is exactly what it says. This will let you sell digital downloads. And so on these, you have three options when it comes to PhotoBiz e-commerce. You can sell 3 different print sizes for digital files, and you can charge different prices for them. You can do web resolution, you can do high resolution, and that's built into the website package. And then we make an option for the third option, which is the original file size, up to 25 megabytes. We know not everybody sells digital files and digital downloads, so we make it optional for clients. If you do the original files and the original resolution, it's one of our premium features for $10 a month extra. But if you don't use it, it doesn't cost anything. You can still sell the web resolution or high resolution, and those dimensions are listed there as well. And as you can see here, once the customer's paid for their order, they get a link to download that. It's attached to the receipt. And so if you're doing a Square, Stripe, PayPal type payment, that's going to be immediate. And if you do a offline payment, Venmo or call, pay by phone, cash check or otherwise, you'll have to go in and you'll have to adjust the payment status on that in order for that link to go live. So it gives you, like I said, an extra step with those offline payments. But if you're doing the credit debit card thing, that link is available as soon as they check out and they pay. So for this one, we're gonna do 2 print sizes. We'll do the web resolution, and you can put your price on that. So we'll just say this one's $40. And then we can also add a high resolution on here. We'll say this one's $50. And so this is going to make both of those print sizes available for download. The web resolution is really popular for people that want to offer a lower resolution digital file for, let's say, LinkedIn or Facebook, and that's what a lot of times what I see clients using those for. But you can do as many different digital images as you want to, and this again allows you to do the a la carte pricing, so that as you have clients that go in and they just want to buy 1 or 2 photos, this is the best way to do it, because it's something where they can buy it, they check out, and once they've paid, they got the link to download it. Very, very easy. So let's take a look next at how to configure packages. And so with your e-commerce packages, you have 3 different options that you can do. You can do fixed packages, you can do flexible packages, and you can do digital packages. And all 3 options are scalable. They allow you to really set up a package that suits what you're trying to do for your clients. Your fixed packages is more of the traditional, hey, you get 2 8x10s, 2 5x7s, and so on. And they work best, like it shows here, the disclaimer, when the number of poses is equal to the number of images in the package, or when the package consists of several sizes of the same pose. You have the flexible option, which is more based on a unit type pricing, or when packages have where the number of poses a customer can choose for the package might not be the same as the number of prints in the package. And that way, it allows you to kind of set up where you've got, 2 poses, but you get 10 prints, and you can designate what sizes you want to use on those prints. And then you have the digital package option, and this is exactly what it looks like. If you have 25 images, you can set up the digital package that lets them pick out 10 and download them once they've paid. All 3 are available, and you can set these up. They can be mixed between different price lists, so you have flexibility with it. And you don't have to, again, just like with prints and just like with the digitals and everything else, you can set up different packages to be used on different price lists. So these aren't necessarily all available for every single one of your clients. So let's take a look at how to set these up. We'll do fixed one first, and so we'll call this one the copper package. And the package name it's just a description that you can use on here for it. That it's the name of the package. Now your description, one thing that you don't have to do here is you don't have to include the print sizes that you get with this. Think of the description on your packages as a little place to put in a blurb that helps you sell your packages. The reason I say that is because the print sizes go in on the next step, and they're visible to the clients when they're looking at it in the proofing. And we'll look at that in the second part of today's masterclass. That way you can see how this is going to look on the front end for customers. And so on this, we'll say a lot of times a good description on here, especially if it's your most popular package, put that in here. Say, our most popular package for portrait sessions, for portrait clients. And you can put in a little bit of a blurb, maybe how much you save instead of ordering everything you get with this a la carte. And that way, you've got flexibility on this. But this helps you sell it when you're not there to tell people. And, think about it like that. The internet's always open, so it's your site and your proofing and everything is really there to sell for you when you're not there to sell yourself. So you can put that in. You can choose how many poses you're going to get for your customers on here. So in this one, we'll say you get 2 poses. You put in your price. So on this one, let's just say it's $125. You can choose your tax and shipping options here. Again, you have the additional shipping option. So if you've got something in here that's going to require additional shipping, you can pass that along to the customer. There's an enter tags button here, and so you can go in and you can update this if you want to tag your packages. This is a good way to keep things organized. So with this one, we'll say portrait package. Hit add, hit next, and now is where you'll configure your print sizes. And so on this one, we'll say 8x10. You get one of them. So you get your 5x7 on here, and you get 2 of them. Create the package. It's really that easy. So now you've got your package set up, and there's a few other things you can do in here that it's really nice because it can put a more personalized touch on the package itself. Now you can go in and obviously edit the details on this. So if your prices change or your package changes, you can go in and you can edit these things. You can add additional print sizes. You can also take away print sizes. So if you need to edit your packages, it's very easy to do it. And then images. Images allows you to go in here and you can actually set up and add a photo or an image of your package that represents it, or of your products and services. And you can upload an image. You can use your clipboard. You can use one of our stock images. For this instance, I've got some images uploaded to my clipboard already, and so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just use one of these stock ones that I have as a placeholder. And so we'll choose this one here. And on this, I go, okay, well, you know what? This is the copper package, so this actually has 8 different print sizes on it. So, obviously for this one, you can go in, and if you need to add additional print sizes, you can. But this will give you an image that will actually represent what the package is for your clients. People are visual, and so when they see it, it makes that light bulb go off. They're like, oh, this is what I get. Okay, great. And so that way, people don't have to just sit there and read everything. They can look at it, catches their eye, and you're going to be closing the sale. Another thing you can do here is, we've got that package. You can add categories. So if you have, let's just say we're going to call this one portrait packages. And if you want to do another one, we can say like headshot packages, for example. This is nice because this will allow you to organize these, and you can have different packages in different areas. And this, again, will tie in with the price list so that people can see only what you make available to them. So let's take a look at the flexible package option here next. And so we had the copper package first. On this one, let's say this is the bronze package. And the flexible package gives you a little bit more control over, it gives your customer more control over what they're getting at the end of the day. So on this one, we'll say that you get 3 poses, but you get 5 different prints. So this one's $175. And we'll do the portrait package. And then we can put in our print sizes here. So we'll say that you can do 8 by 10, and you'll notice there's not a designated number for these. So your clients can choose, what print sizes they actually want to apply these to. And this will make sense when I show how this looks in the next section in the proofing, because this will allow them to say, hey, I've got, I can pick 3 poses, but I've got 5 different prints. So if they wanted to do one of each, if they wanted to do, 3 8 by 10s and then 2 11 by 14s, they could do that. And so the flexible package gives you, just in the name, it gives you more flexibility for your clients to do it. We're going to do another clipboard image here, and we'll plug in another one of our stock photos here. Now you can put in, your own photos on these, but this makes it much easier to do it when you're, makes it much easier for your clients when they're looking at it. And then we'll do our digital package. We'll call this one the gold package. All right, so we'll go with the description on that, and now we'll do the quantity. So this is going to control how many images they can download out of their event. So on this one, we're going to go with 5, and we'll just say this one's $200. Now you could choose the resolution here. You can do the web resolution, the high resolution, and then if you want to offer original files as an option for your clients, you'll have that available to upgrade on there. But you can choose which size you want to make available for them, whether or not you're going to charge sales tax, and whether or not you want this to even be active. You can create the digital package from there. We're also going to add a stock photo for the downloads. And so now we have 3 different packages, and these are all sample examples of the fixed, flexible, and digital options. This lets you have, like I said, this gives you a lot more control over the packages, because once you got them set up, they're good. You don't have to worry about going in and reconfiguring these. And then you can make these exclusive based on the price list. Now, let's say that you have a package that you want to recycle or you want to use for something else, but it needs to get tweaked a little bit. Rather than having to go in and recreate everything from the ground up, if you want to offer your gold package, but you charge your headshot clients just a little bit more for it, let's just say $300 for it, you can go in and you can copy it. And so we'll just make this name gold package headshot. We just leave it, hey, we'll make it gold package. Create the copy. It's going to show you all your stuff in here. Now we see that we've got 2 gold packages here, but what we can do is we can drag that one over to headshots and drop it in there. And so now they're separated. The copy feature is really nice because you can go in and you can copy just about everything on here and just reconfigure your pricing or tweak it as you need to. Saves you a lot of time when it comes to setting these things up. And then the next thing is products. So products gives you the ability to sell a lot of different stuff. Anything that your studio's offering, any products, whether it's canvases, if it's albums, any other fine art prints, whatever you're offering, you can go in and you can set these up as products. So you'll see we got a bunch of different categories set up in here already. For this one, we're just going to go ahead and hit new product. And so for this one, we'll just say, we'll do an album here first. And you can put in a little description that talks about your album. So, we could say that it's a fine leather album that will be a timeless family treasure for years to come. And you can put in any description that you want on here. This, again, the description is going to be something that really helps you sell it and lets people know what they're getting. And then on your price here, say this one's $500. You can go in and choose all your different options in here again for taxes, shipping, and additional shipping. And once you hit that create button, you get all your settings for the product itself. So what's nice here is we can go to images first, and we can put a photo in here that represents our album. you can go in here and you can configure different options for your product. So let's say that you have different colors available for the album cover. We can put that in right here. So we'll say album cover color. And you can put in your different colors here. So we'll say your black leather. And we'll say red leather. And let's say that you know that your album company charges you a little bit extra for different colors. You can pass that along to the customer here as well. And so if you know that the red leather is going to cost $25 more, you can say that right here. You can put that into the additional price, and it lets you pass it along to the client. So you can go in here and you can put in whatever different options you want to offer on these. This gives people the option to buy different different products with different options on it, and it'll also allow you to, if there's an upsell on there for you, you can do it. You can also do, if you want to offer like personalization or inscriptions on things, you can do that as well. And so you can set this up here and say, you can put a personalized message in here. And by doing this, what's nice is that same thing, you can give people the option, no thank you. That doesn't cost anything extra. But if you want to make it where they can do that, and it does cost a little bit extra with your lab, you can do that here, and we'll say that it's $10 more. And so you've got this optional text field thing that will let you put a label on it and then a little description that'll give that call to action for your clients. And so your customers can put a family message in here. You can put a name in here. You can put really anything you want on there. Any information that you want to allow your clients to provide for you there and type it in. Makes it real easy. And so we'll go ahead and we'll add that option. The photo requirement section here, this is a nice one because you can go in here and you can set a minimum and a maximum number of photos for your product that's required. So if for example, for your albums, it takes they have to select at least 10 albums to be able to print an album out from your vendor, but your albums only support 25 images. You can go in and you can configure that here. And so this gives you a lot of flexibility with it. Another cool thing about this too is that if this safeguards you from getting an order that's not been completed. The shopping cart's not going to let people check out until they've selected at least 10 photos or whatever you set your minimum to here, and it also won't allow them to go over the maximum. And so this prevents, like I said, half orders from coming in or somebody placing an order that's not possible for you to fill. It just removes that potential pitfall for you. So we save the changes here. There's a digital download option. And so with this allows you to offer a digital product download. For this example, you don't really need this option for anything, but this is really cool if you want to offer something that people can purchase from you, a digital product, and they can download it from you. This also goes well if you for when you do your services, and I'll show you that in the next part of this. When you set up your services, if you want people to be able to pay a deposit, and when they pay the deposit, they get a digital download attached to it that lets them download a style guide or recommendations for the most success you can have with your session, what to expect, anything like that. You can also do that as well. So the digital download link here is pretty cool. You've got your SEO and search section here. And so you've got the ability to put in tags if you want to tag your products to organize them for you. You can put in keywords that will match up the product for the on-site searching feature. And then you can also go in and you can put in metadata for the product itself. Now the auto SEO will pull the title and description based on what you put into the product name, your studio name, and then also the description for the product. But you can click custom here and you can customize this even further if you want to. And then you'll see the inventory section here as well. So you can do your inventory and stock tracking setups for any of your products as well. So we've got the product ready, And we see that we've got our album for $500 here. And now you can have, as you see here, there's a bunch of different product categories that are set up already. You can go in and you can configure whatever you want, but these will have different collages in them, different albums and such. Let me show you one more product setup. I mentioned before when I was showing you the general settings, and I set that checkout option to hide the price until it was greater than 0. So the thought behind that, and the reason I did it, is because you can set this up if you have, for example, a canvas wrap that you sell, and you sell it in different sizes. You can set this up to have a price of 0 on these, and rather than having every single size that you offer that canvas in as its own individual product, you could set up one product called canvas wrap and then put your print sizes inside of it. This will make it so that it's easier for people to check out. This will make it so that there's less clicking around as well. But what's nice about this is that we'll use those options with the price to house the price, and by setting this to 0 and then making it hidden, it won't show the price until people choose the size that they want to print out on, or that they want to order their canvas on. So let's put a little description in here. And we can configure any different options we want on here. We'll put in an image. So we'll take this stock photo here for this. Now the options, here's where we're going to put that you can choose your size. And then you can add your print size here. And so you can add as many different sizes as you want. So any size that you offer your prints in. You can plug those in here, and this is going to make it so that those prices don't show until they start looking at the actual print size. We're going to set our photo requirements to this product for 1. That means that they have to pick at least one. They have to pick one photo, cannot pick more than one photo for the product on this. So when the client's order comes through for you, you're going to see, hey, they bought this image, and this is the product they bought it on. It makes it very easy to fill that order. The other items here we don't really need to look at for digital download, SEO, and stock, but they are there for any of the products that you want to configure. So then we've got our services, invoices, gift cards, and price lists left in here. We'll look at services next. And services let you take deposits. This is nice because if you want to charge a booking fee or a sitting fee, session fee, any sort of deposit, you can charge that here. And this is something you can make available to the public. You can make it on a hidden page. It's really nice. So we can say session fee. And we'll put in just a brief little description. Say it's $250, and you can put in anything you want on those. You've got different options if you need to do that. It's popular if you have if you charge like a set fee, and then people want to add an additional family member or anything like that. You can go in and you can put it up so that people can go in and they can pay that deposit, and then they can add if they want to add another child in, if you say, hey, you get 2 included, and then if they have a third, they want to add it and they charge a little bit more for that, you can pass it along to the client. You can go ahead and set up as many different services as you want. And so these are very easy, and you'll notice that these look just like the setup for the products. It follows all the same stuff. So you've got the same options, photo requirements. On this one, we don't really need any photos. Digital download. Again, that's where, like I mentioned, you can do like a PDF if you wanted to offer a style guide. You can link that from your file section in your PhotoBiz account, and it comes out as a download for them. You've got a bunch of different stuff you can do with this. So we've got our session fee set up. And so now we've got our print set up. We've got digital images set up for downloads. We've got some packages in there. We've got products in there. We've got services in there. So now let's take a look at price lists. So price lists are what controls who can see what pricing you have available in your client events. This also has a global price list that will apply to products that are on the front end of your site. So if you have a page set up on your site to sell products that's available to the public, it's not part of one of your proofing galleries, anything that's listed on your global price list is going to be visible to people that come to your website. Let's take a look at setting up a new price list first. So this one we're going to say family portraits. Now you can choose to set this as your global price list. For this one we're not going to, but you can. You can configure what shipping methods are available in your price list. So for this one we're going to have both of them available. If you do something where, hey, like with the pandemic stuff going on, if you're not offering free in-studio pickup, you can uncheck that box. That way, hey, it's on there for the future. But for now, all you're doing is mailing stuff out. You can do that. For this price list, we're going to make both available, though. You can choose what products are available. And so for this, you can choose all, none, or custom. And if we're going to choose none for this first, just so I can get all these other ones out of there. But for products, we could do that. We could click on it. We'll say, okay, album and canvas wrap are both available in here. So I want those both to be on this price list. Perfect. And all this other stuff I don't want to show up. Packages. We want our portrait packages to be available for our family portraits price list, but we don't want our headshot ones there, so we just check none on that. This means everything housed in this family portrait area is going to be available for people that have this price list. If it's set to none, it doesn't show up on there. Services, we're going to go none, and then we're going to customize that as well. And then last but not least, prints, digital prints. So let's check off 8x10 and then the two digital downloads. We're going to leave that 8x10 unchecked though, because we don't want this to show up on the family portraits price list. We had the price list. Now you'll see we've got global and we've got the family portraits. You can set as many different price lists as you want to. So if you want to go through and you set up 10 or 15 different price lists, that's no problem at all. Big piece of advice on this is to make sure that you name it something that's obvious what the price list is. If you call it price list 1, 2, 3, and so on, it doesn't really give you a description. Keep in mind this is only visible to you when you're setting up your events and whatnot. So what you name these is really the naming convention you use on here isn't really important for your clients. It's more important for you just managing your price lists on the back end. And so if you need to go in and you want to configure your global price list, you can as well. By default, it's set to display everything. So if you don't want your products showing up, if you don't want your packages showing up to the general public, you don't want your prints showing up, but you do want your services available, you just go in and set these to none and leave that one to all. And for this one, we'll do none and customize it because I know we've got our service we set up in here as the one going to show the session fee. So we've got our price list set up. And now we've got two price lists set up. We've got our global one configured. We've got our family portraits configured. We've got all our payment methods set up. We've got our checkout stuff set up. So now we are ready to look at how you can actually start taking some payments through the site. So you can go in and like I mentioned, you can sell. We've got our price list set up to sell through the proofing. We've got our merchant set up so we can invoice. And we've got it set up with the merchant so that we can take payments through the forms as well as the scheduler. So this is all very flexible to allow you to take payments in whatever method you want. And so let's take a look on this first. We'll look at the forms first because the forms are nice. This will let you take payments through your forms. So if you're not already familiar with your PhotoBiz form builder, over in the left side, you've got the forms, and the forms capture and store all of your information that you request from your clients. So I start with this to show you these because forms and invoicing work together very closely. With your forms, again, you can set these up for whatever you want. Contact forms, model release, customer agreements, booking forms, email newsletter signups. You got a bunch of different stuff you can do. But with this one, I'm going to show you, you can take payments through it. So we're going to look at this mini session booking form first. And this is a pre-built one that we have. You can go in and customize it with your time slots and what information you want to request from your clients. But the big thing here is that in the miscellaneous area, there's a payment option, a payment block. So you can go in and you can set up one of these payment blocks. And let's say that your mini session's $125. You choose if you want to do tax or shipping. You hit save changes. And you can rename this form whatever you want. So let's just call it Mini Sessions January. Now, this can be its own. It can be its own form, where you just share this link out to people, and they can pay right through the site. Or it can be a page that's in your actual website. So if you want to make it so that clients can go to your Mini Sessions page and pay right through the form, they can do that. And this is going to go right through that Square form or that Square merchant that we set up. And you'll see right here, credit card payment with Square. So this would actually process the payment right through the Square merchant that we set up. And you'll see that they've got their different time slots available, so your client can choose what time slot they want, how much is available, and once they've chose this and they've paid, this time slot's not going to be available anymore. So that's how your forms can work. Now, if you're somebody that's setting up this and you want to use it for invoicing, we're going to go back into your e-commerce here. And invoicing, it does exactly what it sounds like. It allows you to set line item invoices and send them out to your clients. So on this one, we'll say that this is your portrait session. You can put a little description on this as well. So if you'll have your line item, which is just going to be the name, and then you can put a little description. You can choose whether or not you're charging sales tax on this, and if you want to charge shipping. So on this one, we're going to set no to the shipping, and we'll say $250. You can add additional line items, so if it's more than one thing that you're putting into your invoice, you certainly can put that in there. You can also set this up, if you use the same type of invoice fairly often, you can set up an invoice here that has all your stuff pre-configured and save it as a draft. And what this will do is this makes it so that you have something you can easily just copy and send out again. So if you use the same invoice for every single one of your clients, rather than having to go in and key all this in each time, just go ahead and set one up. You can set one up as like a pre-built template, and then when it's time to send it out, you can just copy it, and it'll create a duplicate of it for you, and then you can go in and you can customize it to match up with your client's stuff. So step 2 here is select a contact. So I mentioned that the forms and invoicing work very closely together. If you have a customer that's filled out a form and submitted it, they're going to show up in this list right here. And so if you have their information already captured in one of your forms, it's very easy to just select their contact and send them an invoice rather than having to go in and create a new contact. So for this one, you'll see that we've got a test email in here. We click on that. It shows what information we've captured from this person. So right now, all we have is their email. So you can go in and you can put in whatever information you need to for folks. And I'm just going to choose the PhotoBiz one here since I've already got it saved. And so, I put Jeremy in there. Let's put mine in there. You can put whatever you want into these, but you want to make sure this matches up with your client's information. Now, there's a billing field. There's a billing information field that comes with the form builder, and so you can go in and if you have a customer questionnaire that you have them fill out, you can put that as one of the fields. And so if you want to send out an invoice to them, you already have that information stored in your list. It saves you so much time doing it that way. So we go into step 3 here. And this is where we're going to set up the payment. So we can set a due date. So by default, it goes to the same day we're sending it out on this one. Let's go ahead and we'll say that this is due next Monday. So you got 1 week to pay it. You can allow partial payments with invoicing. So if you have, for example, a client that you're sending them an invoice for $2,500 and they're not going to be able to pay that in full right away, you could set up this partial payments option, and this allows them to pay it in installments. And so as long as they've paid the full balance by the due date, they're good. And what's cool about that is it keeps track of it for you. So as a client goes and they pay, the remaining balance shows. It shows you their payment history, and it also will show that due date. And then we've got the invoice reference here. And so you can put in invoice reference. So you know what this was for. Family portrait session for John K. So we hit next. Now, there's a subject line here. This will be what the email shows when you send this out to your client. You can put a personalized message in here, and this shows up in the email as well. There's also a preview. So this shows you what your client's going to see when it's time to, when they open this email up on their phone. Now, one thing that stands out to me here is that we didn't put our logo in. So let's do this. We're going to save this as a draft. And we're going to go back into our e-commerce. Let's go into the clipboard first. And so we've got, okay, we do have an image of available on here of our logo. We go back into checkout here. We've got our logo upload option here. And so we can choose our logo out of here. I'm just gonna pick one of these photos here. I think this is the logo. That one will work. So we've got an image in here as a placeholder. We're gonna go back to our invoice. And we'll go back to this, and we'll see this is where your logo would appear. So instead of just showing a text name of the studio, you can actually put your logo on there. So your brand is on your invoice that goes out to the client. See the billing information, so the name of the client, the email address, there's a description in there. You've got their billing address. You know, the shipping address isn't necessary on this one, so it just says where they're located. And then you've got your line items here. So portrait session, $250, the sales tax. This shows the remaining balance and how much they need to pay. And so this is what the customer will get in their inbox, and then they just hit the pay button. We'll go ahead and we can send this out. Gives you a confirmation message, and it's done. And so your clients, you'll show the amount remaining on here. It'll show if they've paid or not, and it makes life easy to get that money out to the client. It goes into their email address. They don't have to, they don't have to go in and mail you a check or come to the studio. They just get that in their inbox. They can open it up, and they can pay right from their phone. It makes it really, really easy. And so yeah, you've got the invoicing there. It makes it very easy to go in and, like I said, get paid. Now that will take us through the beginning of this. And so, yeah, we've got a couple questions from Jeremy.
So let's go ahead while we can. We got about 10 minutes before we need to take a break and start the next class. So let's see what we got. So one was from Pam Jacobson. I have to set up my sessions with a session fee and print credit. Sessions is a service and prints are taxed. How is this set up? I use Square and require full payment when they book.
Perfect. So you could set that up. With your print credits. A lot of times, what I would say is I would look at to collect the payment, and then you've got a gift card option here. So gift card option will let you create gift cards, and you can set up a gift card. Let's just say it's a $500, and we'd say a print credit. John K. This gives a gift card. This creates a gift card that can be used on your store for the order. And so when clients go through the checkout process, they'll have this gift card there, and this will go through the checkout process, apply the appropriate sales tax to the order, and then they can use it at checkout to go towards that total order that they're doing. And the gift card feature is built right into the control panel. You can both make these. You can make these manual, where you can create these for your clients, or you can actually even set it up so that in your builder, and I'm going to open this up real quick, you can set up to actually sell gift cards as well. And so we'll just set up a page here called gift cards. We'll add the gift card block in the builder. And so your clients would have an ability to go in there. They can purchase a gift card for people, or they can put in the gift card to check the balance as well.
People said they couldn't hear me, so I'm trying to get a little bit closer. So let's see. Let's see what other questions we have. So one was why we recommend Stripe. I answered it there, but you can go into that while I pull up another question.
Yeah, it's more user friendly for folks. Again, at the end of the day, you can use whichever merchant whichever merchant is supported there. Stripe lets people pay right through the site, where PayPal takes them off of your site and into a PayPal checkout window. So it can be a little confusing for less web savvy users. And it also kind of gives the impression, PayPal tends to give the impression that you need a PayPal account. So it can make it a little confusing for folks that are a little less web savvy. But at the end of the day, if you prefer to use PayPal, by all means, you absolutely can. And again, that's why we also make it so you can use different merchants. But, for us, it really just comes down to making it so that you have flexible payment options. And, however it's easiest for you to get paid, you definitely use that merchant.
Bill asks, are we working on connecting to a lab for direct printing?
Yes, that we actually just announced that a couple weeks ago on the PhotoBiz blog. So stay tuned to the blog, blog.photobiz.com. That's where we put the latest updates, and we put a 2021, basically a guide of what's coming next as far as new functionality goes. And so those are that's available. Again, it's blog.photobiz.com, and we just announced that will be coming this year.
Alyssa asks, do I need to pay more to offer original files in my digital packages? Why is this shaded out?
Yeah, the original files option, we make it's an option. So for clients that offer the full resolution original downloads, it's $10 a month if you want to offer that. And for clients that don't offer the original files, because we made it an option for you, so you're not it's something that's there if you want to use it. And if you don't need to offer that, or you don't offer original file downloads, then the web resolution and the high resolution are both there for you as well.
Rachel asked, can I mix digital and print? Now, I made a suggestion on that, but I'm wondering if she means in one single package.
Yeah, the simple answer to that is yes, but it's not going to allow the automatic download for the digitals on that. So if you or if you offer it where people can buy a mix of both, it's gonna one of the two is not going to be automatic for you. So you can, but it's a little bit of a workaround. I would typically recommend going with the flexible option for that. But if you are offering digitals in that type of setup, it's going to be one where you have to send those originals or those digitals to the client separate from the order.
And then William asked, if someone wanted to add additional poses, can we set those up as add-ons?
Not as part of the packages. So the packages are set there to be simple and straightforward on it. That all said, and I'll show you this in the next part, the price list can be set up where you can offer packages as well as a la carte prints. And so, people can buy, if they want to buy a package from you and then they also want to buy some 8x10s, that's no problem at all.
Jen asks, why do we need to put a 1 in the minimum and max under photo requirements?
That's set up so that for your products, for example, let's say for setting it up, you're using a product to sell canvases. That way it's the client will select that photo that they want to have as part of that canvas. In the same line, when you're setting up your products, you would set this up. Let's say you're setting up to do an album. It's going to require a minimum and maximum number of photos. So the products are set up to have those photo requirements in place. If you don't have a photo set up or a photo minimum set up on that or photo max, they just would buy the product and they wouldn't associate any proofing images for it. Again, this is showing these products. The products that I'm setting up on the sample today are to show how it works with the proofing system. But if you're just selling a product that doesn't require photos, you just set it up without a photo minimum or maximum.
And then I explained it because she asked for selling stock images and stuff and how it works with the digital downloads. Let's see. How do you set up a calendar format so it doesn't look like a list? I think that was when you were showing the mini session.
Yep, that would go through the scheduler, Pam. The sample I showed was just how to take a payment through the form.
Matt Young is jumping in late, but I'm curious about how you would go about sending or attaching a terms and condition release form when sending an invoice.
Oh, you can have that listed right on the site. That's something where it's it's something that you can have your service terms, privacy policy. That's actually a really good question because that's something that we talk about in the SEO class tomorrow. You can have all that listed on your site. A lot of times, if you're doing e-commerce, it's really important to have your privacy policy, your terms and conditions, your cancellation policy, have that available somewhere on your website. That way, when people look for it, it is available there.
What does global price mean again? Thank you.
Global price is what is going to be the price that's available to the general public. And so it's something where if you only have one price list, that works perfect. It also will make it so that you have you can use that to set up so that if you don't want pricing to be available to people that don't necessarily have an event with you, you can set that just to be none.
And we've got one more question, then we'll flip over, and then we'll try to answer these questions in the next session. Looks like how do we add direct payment options like Venmo to our webpage or personal checks?
That's going to be using the offline payment method, and that's available in those merchant settings.
And if there's any other question that you can answer before we go?
Yeah, Pam Jacobson's asking about the client gallery. We're actually going to show that next. So that's part 2 of this, and I will show you this. But you can find that under the proofing section in your control panel, Pam.
Okay, and we'll get back to that. We're going to start our next session in 5 minutes. So I hope you guys are enjoying these classes. So what's up next on the docket will be setting up proofing. So you're going to see how that is, setting up client galleries, and then we have some more website reviews later today. So if you're just joining us for the first time, if you want to save 50% on your first year with PhotoBiz, you can use this promo code IUSA21, and you can save on your first year. It's an incredible offer that we have going on right now during imaging and our masterclass. It runs till January 31st, so take advantage of that. And we'll see you in our next session in 5 minutes.